part 2. Go live. All right. Yay. Okay, we got it back finally. I don't know what that was all about. I mean, it just like, it would not listen to me. It just would not listen to me. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going to have to give this thing a little attitude adjustment tomorrow. I might have to bring some backup cameras over here because she is being bad. Just bad. Okay. I had to restart everything. I had to restart the Mevo and the iPad and the everything. All right. But now we're good. All right. So, this is where we were. Let me zoom in so we can get back. So we stopped off over here. So now we're going to take this and we're going to go in this direction. Right, so this has a pattern, but it's down the middle, so I'm not sure if we're going to need to flip it or not. Probably so. But let's put it on and see. Okay, so we're going to do 2 loops on this side and 1 loop on this side. So with that in mind, if I'm going to have to flip one, I'm going to flip it on this side. Okay. I know, I just had to give everything a small attitude adjustment, that's all. It was not listening. Okay, so on this one, we're just going to come straight out, trim it off. Okay. They are going in different directions, so I will flip this one. So all I do is take it right where the bow meets these pegs and flip it. Okay. There we go. All right. Make sure Z knows I'm back on. Back on. Okay. Well, if I could spell. There we go. Okay, we got our zip tie. Can you hear that girl snoring over there? She is snoring logs over there. Okay, here we go. We have a red one. Okay. All right. The ribbons came from my wholesaler. I do have some of these flip-flops to list for sure. Okay. All right. So we just get the zip tie started. You just want to get enough so it's not going to come loose. Pull it out. Okay. And you can see where the indention is from the bow maker. You want to make sure you slide it over and get it in that indention because that's going to make a big difference as to whether your ribbons are going to stay the same size. You want them to stay the same size. Oh, thank you. Okay. I'm just going to flip it over, put a little pipe cleaner in the back, then I'm going to pull it really tight. Okay, so with bows, I always am going to take it and twist it back and forth just to get that nice fluff. That's what gives me that nice fluff. And I'm going to make sure that my tails are all on opposite sides. So if I have one flip-flop here, I want one here. Okay, if I have one blue here, I want one blue here. So that's the whole point of the legs, right, of the spider. You've got your legs. So I'm not going to do a whole lot with the tails right now. I just want to make sure they're there. Okay. There we go. So I'm just going to pull and twist each one. With these in the middle, you can kind of just pull them up. They don't have to be kind of off to the side. You can pull them up or you can spread them out. Either way you like. I especially like to do this if I'm going to put things in the bow. like Mama likes. She likes this stuff in the bow. Okay. So we can take our zip tie off. So we could just, well, cut the excess off is what I mean. There. Okay. So see how pretty that is? Alrighty. Y'all, for a minute there, I wasn't sure we were going to get to finish this. I was starting to get a little stressed. A little stressing me out a little bit. Oh, I just love this one. Okay. So I'm going to tie the bow here. Alright, so let's talk about this for a second. So if you take your bow and you just go directly down, it's going to tend to kind of push down a little bit. You can take your leftover mesh, some of your leftover mesh, take it off our rolls here. I say that. And we're just going to cut a little bit off. So we don't need all of that, we just need some. Okay. Let's put that there. Alright. Doesn't really matter how much you have, just, a little bit. About 10 inches or so. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do kind of like messy ruffles. Just 2 under here, like this. I want it to be kind of messy because the whole point is to kind of push the bow back up so it doesn't sink into the wreath. So I'm just going to tie them right underneath our bow. You're not really going to see them. They're just going to act as a way to keep the bow from sinking into the wreath, because this mesh is going to meet resistance with this mesh, and then it's not going to sink. And that's what we want. We want our bow to be up there saying, look at me. You see how much fluffier it is on the wreath now, how it's not sinking in? And it is just because we did that little bit extra. Okay, so I'm just tying it underneath. Open that up a little. I'm just tying it underneath. So you can see I have it tied right in here. But remember, you have an opening in between each one where your ribbons are, so it's pretty easy just to go right through there and tie it. Okay, now let's kind of work on our tails a little, because we want those tails to spread out. Because the reason that I'm going to cut some of this off, these two. Okay. The reason that I liken this to a spider is because these legs. And one thing those do is they make it look rounder, okay? So that it looks fluffier and a little rounder. So I'm going to trim those off because we don't need them to be long. We want them to be shorter so that they'll kind of almost mimic the loops. And that is what makes this bow, even though we use less ribbon, it makes this bow look fuller. Because one, we use that little trick with the mesh, and the other one is we kind of use the tails to make it look rounder. Okay. Alright, let's put our sign home. So let's see, we could do bottom, side, middle. What do we think? Bottom, side, middle. It is a kit. It sure is. Hey, Angelic. So what do we think? Thank you. I think I kind of like it side by side. What do we think? I'm so glad you're back. Bottom, side, bottom. Heh. Bottom, middle, bottom. I think bottoms are winning right now. Okay. Side. I don't know what's winning. Side, side, side. Okay, see, Facebook's all saying side. Oh, there we go. I think side's winning now. Side by side. Okay. All right, so we're just going to pull out about 20 inches of our 26 gauge wire. Side, side, side by side. Okay. The sides have it. Okay. So just push it right through that little hole. So when you get the sides, you also need to get the little hole punch. They're not very expensive, and they're really great because then you can always determine where you want to put your holes. So like if you decided you wanted to do the middle, you might want to put your holes in a different place, and if you decide to do side, so on and so forth. Thank you. I love this one. Alrighty. So we'll do side. Okay. And we're going to use our awesome tool. I was thinking, ooh, we need to make sure we have some of these in stock at the shop. Okay. So we're going to take our weaving needle. We all love the weaving needle. I don't think we really need to see my double chin, so let's just push that down a little. Okay, so I just thread it just like a needle, and the great thing is I'm just going to push it directly right through that mesh. It's not going to hurt it. It's already holes in it. It's already holy, so it's not going to hurt it. And then I just go right to the frame. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay, and we'll tie it. Trim off the excess, and we're going to drop it right there. Alright, so with sides, you want it to almost, like you want it to touch the surface, but you don't want it to push down. So when you're tying signs, just be sure that you're not really pushing it down. If it's really pushing anything down, it's too tight. Okay. I'll tell you what, I'm never retiring. I'm never going to retire. I'm going to be like my dad. I'll be like my dad. I'll be up here when I'm 89. Making boxes and shipping wreaths. Heck yeah. Alright, so we did the same thing with the bottom. Thank you. I love it. Sometimes it's really nice without the bow or a sign, right? Absolutely. Okay. I love it. Look. So there's our pretty bow. See how it's all rounded? See that? And then there's our sign. Oh, look how pretty. Look how full that is. See what I mean about on the top? So if you were to put the mini bows, you really wouldn't see them, because by the time you put the sign and the bow on, there really pretty much isn't a whole lot left. Aha. Career change. Ah, see? That's exactly right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Awesome. Thank you. I'm so glad y'all like it. Thank you for being patient with me through the Mevo stress. Because sometimes it can be a joy. Awesome. So tomorrow, I don't know if I'm going to do, I think I'm going to change my time on Thursdays to 5. My website is just shop hardworkingmom.com, and it'll take you right to my site. I think I'm going to do 5 o'clock on Thursdays instead of 4, because 4 is kind of hard for me to get to. And then I have design group tomorrow night. I'm excited. In the design group, we're going to make one of those moss wreaths. So I'm excited. All right. Well, I hope y'all have a wonderful night. Now I can have a glass of wine. Amen to that. Yes, I can. And we're going to leave after this and go get me one. Awesome. All right. Well, I hope y'all have a wonderful night. I'll see you tomorrow at 5. And hopefully, I'm hoping that tomorrow I'll have the place cleaned up enough that I can kind of show you what the studio looks like. If not, then it'll be Friday. And I'll do it that day. So, because it'll for sure be done by Friday, because on Saturday, I'm going to be over there. And I don't want it, wine. Yes, wine. I don't want it to look like a mess, because that would just make me so upset. All right, y'all have a great night, and I will see you guys. A tornado just went over your home. Oh my gosh, that's scary. You be careful.